Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today our topic of discussion is vertical circular motion. So let's analyze the situation first. In vertical circular motion, here we have been given with an object that is tied with a string, and the object is moving in a circular path in a vertical plane. So if we notice, here the object is acted upon by two forces. There is one mg and there is a tension force. Two forces are only acting, and pay attention guys, here there is no centripetal force that is acting, means there is no mv square by r force that is acting. Rather we say that T, this tension T and this mg together they provide the necessary centripetal force. If we talk about any given condition, let's talk about this condition here. We have been given with this force on mg and a tension T is there. The amount of centripetal force needed is mv square by r. So we take a component of mg in the radial direction, it comes outward here. So this force mg cos theta and this force tension, the net force we will get is T minus mg cos theta, which will be radially inward. This force will be radially inward, and this force will act as the centripetal force in this case. In this case, this will act as the centripetal force. So, and again, there is this mg sin theta component which is acting tangentially. It is in this half of the motion. In this half, the mg sin theta component will be opposite to the velocity, and in the next half, in this half, the left half, here mg sin theta component will be in the direction of velocity. So in the first half or the right half, the motion is decelerating, and in the left half the motion is accelerating motion. And as the speed is changing, so this is an example of non-uniform motion. Again, the second thing, that the two forces, here there are only two forces acting, there is no mv square by r as a force, rather there are only two forces, one is mg which is weight force and a tension due to string. These two forces together provide the necessary centripetal force. Next, as tension is always radial and the displacement vector is always tangential, that's why the tension does not do any work. There is work done by tension is 0 because the angle between T and ds vector will always be 90 degree. So according to our formula f s cos theta, the theta here will be 90 degree, so tension will not do any work. Let's further analyze the situation here. Now we will go to the condition for looping, means what should be the condition that the particle can complete a vertical circular motion. Let's see then. Let's say we hang the object vertically like this, and it is given with a velocity u. It is provided with a velocity u. Now we need to know what should be the velocity. We can notice if we give it a very small velocity, then it will only oscillate like this, to and fro motion it will do in very small region. It will not cover. It needs some velocity so that it can move in a complete circular motion. So let's see what might be that condition. Now first of all, if the object is to cover a circular motion, then at each point the net force acting on the body should be able to provide the necessary centripetal force. Now if we check at the topmost point, T is vertically downward and mg is also vertically downward. So there are two forces, all are vertically downward, and at the topmost point the necessary centripetal force will be provided by this T plus mg. So we can write for topmost point T plus mg equals to mv square by r, and here the velocity should be velocity at the topmost point only. Now in this case, this should be the equation which should be satisfied. Now if we consider what is the minimum velocity with which the particle should move so that it can cover a circular path, so to make the v value minimum, we need to consider that this force should also be minimum, but we cannot touch mg, weight of a body cannot change, right? So let's take the condition for V minimum. Let's take tension is 0. That means we are assuming that mg, the weight itself, is sufficient to provide the centripetal force. It does not need the help of tension. Okay, only weight, the mg itself, is he alone is sufficient. He can provide the necessary centripetal force. The tension is not required to provide centripetal force. In that case, we can get the minimum possible v. So we are doing that for minimum velocity, tension we are applying as 0. So this gives mg equals to mv square by r, and we get v equal to root over of rg. This result gives us the value of velocity that the particle must have at the topmost point, so that it can cover a entire circle. Now from this topmost point and for the bottommost point, if we use work energy theorem, then we can find what should be the velocity, minimum possible velocity that should be provided at the bottommost point. Now as we know, the tension does not do any work, so there is only one force involved, which is our weight force or gravitational force. So indirectly we can say this is in accordance with our energy conservation also. Even though there is tension force applicable in other points, but it doesn't do any work. So basically we do, let's say we are providing with velocity u at the bottommost point, so it has some kinetic energy half m u square. As it moves up, it loses some kinetic energy and its velocity here is v, and hence at the topmost point its kinetic energy becomes half mv square. The amount of energy that is lost, that is only due to gravity, so we apply mgh. This is the work done by gravity. So hence from the net half mu square energy, gravity consumed this much amount of energy, so the remaining is half mv square. With this equation we can see is also in accordance with our energy conservation principle. So now here we got the minimum possible v value is as root over of rg, and if we put that value of v here, we are getting the minimum possible u value is root over of 5 gr, minimum possible value of the velocity that, or speed, minimum possible value of the speed that a particle should be provided here tangentially, so that it can move an entire circle, entire vertical circle. That velocity is root over of 5 gr, which is mentioned here, and we have derived this value up to this point. Now let's see what happens if the velocity given is not root over of 5 gr. We should pay attention that as the object is moving, its velocity continuously decreases, and so as the tension. Practically we might have felt that if we tie a particle or a ball with one string and we rotate in a vertical circle, we can see that our hand gets more stretched, like more force is applied when the ball is at lowest point, but the tension due to string on our hand is very less when the ball is at the topmost point, and gradually as the ball moves up, our hand feels a less tension force from the string. Means indirectly we can say the tension also is decreasing as we move up. So we have two cases, the velocity is decreasing and the tension is decreasing. Now let's analyze further from this point. Now we have been given with a general condition. Here see, the string is attached with a ball and it has been given with a velocity u. The value of u we do not know yet, and at any random point, let's say this is the position of the object and this is the mg force that is acting, and here it is at a height h above its original position, and this h we can say, if this entire radius is r, now this is also radius and hence it is r. Let's say the angular displacement is theta, then this portion right here will be r cos theta. So our h value will be r minus r cos theta. This value we have derived here, and from here we get cos theta value equals to 1 minus h by r. Now at any random point, if we need to find the velocity, how to find? We will use this equation again, half mu square and half mv square. The difference between these two energies should be work done by gravity, which is equals to mgh. So from here we get the expression of v as u square minus 2gh, or as we do not know the h value, the h value is not known in terms of r. If we define it, then we can write u square minus 2gh, and instead of h, r into 1 minus cos theta. So this gives us the velocity at any point of time. Similarly, if we need the tension, we can write that for this ball right here, mg cos theta is radially outward and tension is inward. So we can write the equation as T minus mg cos theta. This provides the necessary centripetal force, T minus mg cos theta. This T minus mg cos theta provides mv square by r. So if we open this equation and we put the value of v here, from this equation we put the value of v here, then we got here the general expression for tension at any point of at any point in this motion. So this is the general expression for velocity and tension. Next, so as we have discussed, both velocity and tension gradually decrease as the object moves up. So why not we find the height at which they will be 0? If our velocity is not up to the mark, it is not like root over of 5 gr, then both of them will decrease, and at some point they might become 0. Now let's find at what height they are being 0. So for velocity we are writing here v square equals to u square minus 2gh. So if we need v equals to 0, then let's put it v equals to 0. So u square minus 2gh is 0, or h equals to u square by 2g. This is the value we are writing as height at which velocity is 0. h v equals to 0 we are writing it. So this is the height at which velocity will be 0. Next we will be talking about tension. So general equation for tension is T minus mg cos theta equals to mv square by r. This is our general equation. And for v we know this value, u square minus 2gh. So instead of v, if we put the value, we get this value as m into u square minus 2gh by r. So if we want to make tension to be 0, then in this equation let's put t equals to 0. So we get m u square minus 2gh by r equals to minus mg cos theta. Here t is 0, so we are getting minus mg cos theta. Next, rearranging these equations, we get u square minus 2gh, as m and m got cancelled. So u square minus 2gh equals to minus gr cos theta, or 2gh minus u square equals to gr cos theta, or cos theta equals to 2gh minus u square by gr. And from the previous expression we know that cos theta value is equals to 1 minus h by r. This thing we have derived in the previous page. So if we put the value of cos theta as 1 minus h by r, from here we get the expression for height h equals to rg plus u square by 3g. Now this gives us the height at which tension will be 0. So here at this height tension will be 0, so we denote it as a notation h t equals to 0. So here we get two values of height. The first one velocity becomes 0, and the second one tension becomes 0. Now let's analyze which one attains the 0 value first. Let's check. Now first thing we want to see, we have two formulas here, two expressions, not like formulas, there are two expressions, and in these two expressions we can see that if velocity will be 0, let's say velocity becomes 0 before tension, that means this height is attained before this height. If velocity is being 0 first, that means h v equals to 0 is being attained first, because velocity becomes 0, no, tension is still not 0. So we will use this concept and we will find out the condition when velocity will be 0 or when tension will be 0. Let's see then. So as we discussed again, let me say it again, that as the particle is moving up, the velocity and tension both are decreasing. So condition, if we need the condition that when tension will be 0 or when velocity will be 0, we will need to analyze like this. So let's say first tension is 0 but V is still not 0. Tension is 0 but V is still not 0. In this case, what to do? That means height due to the height at which tension is should be 0. This is attended before the height due to velocity equals to 0 value. So h t equals to 0 is less than h v equals to 0. If we put the corresponding expressions, we get rg plus u square by 3g should be less than u square by 2g, and our g got cancelled. So from here we got expression u square should be greater than 2rg. And if we use again our work energy theorem, that we can see with velocity u equals to root over of 2rg, if we apply this much velocity, the particle can cover a distance up to the horizontal extreme. The horizontal extreme, this position up to this point, the particle can travel with velocity root 2gh. So hence, from here we mean that if the velocity is greater than root 2gh, that means if the particle will cross the horizontal mark, horizontal position, horizontal extreme and move up, then there is a chance that tension will be 0 before velocity. Maybe none of them will be 0, that is also a possibility if the velocity is even more than root over of 5gr. But if we are finding for a condition, like looking for a condition that tension becomes 0 before velocity, then that is possible in this part only. In this part of the motion only it is possible that tension equals to 0 before velocity. Now similarly, if we take the other condition that velocity should be 0 before the tension value, then that means the height due to height at which velocity should be 0, it should be attended before the height at which tension is 0. So similarly, if we write the corresponding expressions, we get u should be less than root over of 2rg, and this means that if our velocity provided at the bottommost point is such that the particle does not even get a chance to reach here, the horizontal extreme, it doesn't even get a chance to reach here, then the velocity will become 0 before the tension becomes 0. And we can see it practically also, that as there is a mg force here, the mg cos theta component right here, this mg cos theta will always try to make this string, it will pull it outward, so the string will always stay stretched, so there will always be some tension in between this point. But if the string comes out of this point, it comes out of the horizontal extreme point and if it moves up, in this case the mg sin theta component will be inward, so it will try to decrease the tension. So if there is a possibility of tension being 0, it is possible only above horizontal extreme, and if there is a possibility of velocity becomes 0, it is only possible below this horizontal extreme. These are the two cases that we got. And in this region, the tension will become 0 before velocity. If the velocity is not sufficiently high, it is just above root over of 2rg, root 2rg, but not as high as root over of 5rg, then the tension will be 0 before velocity becomes 0. Then let's see what happens next. Then see here, we have now two cases. If our velocity is not up to not attending the value of root 5gr value, then we have another value root 2gr. What happens if the velocity is more than this? What happens if velocity is less than this? Now if our velocity is in between 0 to root 2gr, that means our velocity becomes 0 before tension. Tension is not yet 0 but velocity becomes 0. That means the particle stops here, and due to this mg component acting on the particle towards the mean, it will come back to its original position. So the motion is kind of oscillatory, not kind of, it is oscillatory. That means if we provide a velocity which is less than 2gr, root 2gr, then the particle will be in an oscillatory motion in this region. What happens if we give a velocity which is more than root 2 gr but less than root 5 gr? That means particle should stay somewhere in between these points, these two extremes, somewhere in between these two extremes the particle should be there. So in this case, as we have discussed in the previous slide, that tension becomes 0 before velocity. So if the tension becomes 0 somewhere in the middle, then there is no force acting towards center now. So the particle loses its necessary centripetal force. There is nobody who will maintain its circular path. But we should see that velocity is still there. Velocity is still not 0. Only tension has been 0. So as there will still be some velocity, but there is no centripetal force, now only gravity is acting, only gravity weight force is acting. So this particle now it behaves as a projectile and it moves further path in a parabolic path. The further motion will be in a parabolic path for this particle. So we need to pay attention that if our velocity is less than root 2 gr, the particle will be moving in a oscillatory path, oscillatory motion, and if our velocity is more than root 2 gr but less than root 5 gr, in that case at some point the particle will leave the circle. The particle will leave the circle at some point and further motion will be in a parabolic path.